Well, we love celebrating women and their achievements here and all around the world. So let's cross now to Nairobi in Kenya, where we are going to meet Sara Reeves, who is the founder of Love Artisan, a handmade furniture company making huge, beautiful furniture and having great impact. Hello there, Sara.
Hi, Joe. Hi, Ange. It's a pleasure to be on your International Women's Day series.
Well, happy International Women's Day. I believe we've snuck in by about 30 minutes. It's still International Women's Day in Nairobi.
It is, yep.
Now, I know you're a Melbourne girl. You were working in tourism. You ended up eventually moving to Nairobi, and you've ended up making furniture. How did that happen? What was the instigator for moving into creating furniture there?
Yeah, honestly, it's been quite the adventure. I've lived in Kenya for 9 years now. And as you said, I worked in tourism. I had a career in tourism that brought me to Kenya in 2012. And what happened was that tourism in Kenya went through a few volatile years, 2013, 2014. It became hard to make a living. And so I started hustling. I started to do some events. I whatever it was to pay the rent. I started a beekeeping company, which I have a real passion for until this day. So I was really just doing what I could to survive. And the instigator for making furniture was that I moved into an apartment that didn't have any furniture. And the department store furniture is really quite expensive in Nairobi. It's imported furniture. I couldn't afford that. And I thought, well, I mean, how hard could it be to make furniture? And it was a lot harder than I thought. So I had no idea. I mean, sometimes that's just life doesn't tell you until later when you're too far in. So myself and the security guard actually went and bought like shipping pallets and crates and started making for my house a bed and a bookshelf and coffee tables and then friends of mine said, well, can you make me this pallet sofa and can you make this for me? And so we started doing this from my living room and selling it to friends. And to be honest, it was terrible. It was like terrible quality. I don't know how we charged people money for it, but we did. And that was kind of the very beginning, the very genesis of my furniture making journey, which was in 2016. And then it's just grown from strength to strength from there. I mean, I had to close that down. That was happening in my living room, but eventually I was able to start my own company, Love Artisan, in 2017. And two things about that. One is that the security guard that started making the furniture with me from day one has walked that journey with me. So we still work together to this day. He gave up security. He's now making furniture. And number two, I still have a bed made out of tomato crates, which I urgently need to upgrade. But yeah. So that was the beginning. And now you can definitely spend your money quite confidently on the furniture that we make. We've come a long way.
Oh, well, it's beautiful furniture. Ange, we were admiring it before. I think we've got some images from your Instagram. Love Artisan, check it out on Insta. But some of the furniture is magnificent.
Thank you.
Look, you work with such beautiful fabrics. They're stunning. They're absolutely stunning. But your company is about more than that, isn't it? So perhaps tell us about the local furniture makers. How have you changed their lives?
Yeah, so thanks for the question, Ange. So basically how it is in Nairobi is that, not just Nairobi, in Kenya in general, there's a lot of unemployment or informal employment, which means just, not secure employment, no benefits, working job to job. And in fact, it's, maybe up to 40, 50% of our population here is working in some sort of informal work. So when I started in the furniture industry, even on the street where I work, which is the largest furniture making street, it's home to more than 2,000 people earning a living there. And it's kind of a self-taught, self-regulated industry. And when I started Love Artisan, I thought, look, we have so much potential in our workforce here. And if we could just harness that potential and tap into it and give guidance and investment and attention to this and really give people, dignified and sustainable employment whilst making really good quality furniture and also showcasing some of the beautiful textiles that the continent has. So that was really the impetus. I became very passionate, and still am, about just the impact that we can have at that sort of grassroots level of our economy. So that's really, I think, what drives me and what drives the brand. As you said, it's handmade furniture, so it's a very personal thing, and you need to love what you do, because I think it shows in the furniture that you make. So, yeah.
And what about some of the people that work with you and the artists? I imagine that you must get to know each other very well, and you know their families, and what kinds of stories do they bring with them?
Well, I think, that's one of the interesting things, is that sometimes when a foreigner or an expat comes to Kenya, not just Kenya, but there can be this idea that you're saving somebody or whatever it is. But the fact is, to run a business here, like anywhere, you need to know the people that you work with. You need to know them as individuals. What are their desires? What are their motivations? What are their goals? Yes, I do know everyone's family. We're 12 people. We all work in the same one room, so we really do have to get along. But yeah, we're a very close, tight-knit bunch. I think I'm really blessed. I have to say, I'm really grateful that the strength of the team that we have really does propel our company forward. So, but you really can't underestimate, even as a consumer, like the impact of a single purchase from a company like ours, which kind of supports and impacts that, I'll sort of say, the grassroots level of the economy. $1 spent in that environment just really goes so far, whether it be us who is making the furniture, but there are so many people involved in that value chain of making even just a single chair. And it's impacting people that don't necessarily have steady employment. So those decisions that we make as consumers every day add up to the point of, like, can this mother educate her children, or, those types of things. So we really can't underestimate the impact that we have as consumers and where we choose to spend our money.
And Sarah, sometimes in business, in striving for targets and profit and all of that, in the hurly-burly of business, that human connection can be lost, can't it? And the storytelling gets lost. That's really important to you, isn't it, with your company?
Yeah, and I think it's probably more important than the profit. So I don't know what my accountant has to say about that. But certainly my drive for the company is not, it's not really profit driven. To me, I think profit is always an outcome of serving a need or solving a problem and so forth. So to me, it's really making sure that we're able to harness the potential that we have. And like in my biggest mission, my biggest, wildest dreams, I want to help, how can I say, I want to help put Kenya on the map. That sounds a bit too conceited. I don't mean it to be that way, but I want to help change the narrative that, like, we can make really great quality furniture coming out of Kenya. We can make funky, original furniture. And I think that we can challenge people's assumptions of what's possible.
Sarah, it is, of course, International Women's Day still in Kenya, and we're holding on to it. I mean, for the rest of the week, let's not stop celebrating women and our incredible achievements and stop fighting for equality. But of course, it's a global event. But I do think that we here in Australia can maybe feel a bit disconnected from other women around the world. So I wonder if you could share with us, what would the women of Kenya want us to know about the challenges they might face and what sorts of things they celebrate?
Sure. I mean, I think, there's a saying here that if you educate a woman, or if you empower a woman, then you empower the entire community, the entire society. And I really think it does hold true. I think the women of Africa, not just Kenya, but are really the backbones of family, of community, and ultimately of economy as well. So I think they play a crucial role. And thankfully, there's been more focus now on the importance of educating girls and including women in the workforce. For us, our management team are all women. But one thing I'm really proud of, in terms of, because it is a real challenge here. I mean, women are often not able to get into employment as easily or stable employment as easily. They can be exploited at times as well. But one thing I'm really proud of is that we work with an organization called Clean Start, which helps women coming out of the prison system to reintegrate back into their societies. There's sensitization about stigma and so forth, and become contributing members of their community again. So we were their pilot workshop. One of our team members, Lynn, was a former prisoner. And this year we're hoping to bring on more women because one of the things here in Kenya, there's no real state role that helps people coming out of the prison system. And often in prison here, I mean, many people are victims of circumstance. So I feel really good about giving women just that step back into society and a way to contribute in a meaningful way. I'm really excited to actually expand that side of the business this year.
That sounds great. I love that. Now, just finally from me, it feels like you've been led across the other side of the world to fulfill your purpose. What advice would you give the rest of us who are striving to fulfill our purpose as well in whatever fields of endeavour we're in?
Well, that's a good question. I think, when I first moved here, my mum said, but you're only going for 2 years, right? Like, okay. Now we're 9 years in, she stopped asking me, but she's coming over for Christmas this year. So I think one of the beautiful things, the joys that Kenya has opens me up to, opened my life up to, is just, how can I say, the expansion that I've had from a personal growth point of view when I have allowed myself to not just follow the path that maybe in my career I thought I was going to take. So when you're open to opportunity, and then, life just keeps bringing amazing things to you. And I mean, my life in Kenya in the last 9 years has taken me on a journey that I couldn't have imagined. There's no way I thought I was making furniture. I mean, I did one semester of woodworking in year 10 when I was 16, and that's about the only experience I had. So I think maybe just the question is to allow ourselves to be more than what's written on a piece of paper, or to just keep that space open for, as they say, where the magic happens, and you don't necessarily know what it is, but if you live in this kind of state of allowance for, some crazy things to come in, some adventures, whatever, or just being prepared to learn new things, being prepared to step out of your comfort zone. To me, it's been difficult. I can't say there hasn't been challenges, but
Oh no, we've lost Sara there. I don't know what's happened, but unfortunately I think maybe her internet has dropped out. We did so well crossing to Nairobi, Ange.
We did, and great advice. It was about just stepping out of your comfort zone, right, and not following the script that you think has been written for you. So we got the gist of that. It was a good note to end it on.
It really was, and I love how she said life doesn't tell you how it's going to unfold or how hard it will be. You just go into it and then you go, oh my God, where am I now? How did this happen? So it was so fantastic to catch up with Sara Reeves there, and check out her Instagram, Love Artisan. I don't think they're yet exporting those beautiful pieces of furniture, but I can't wait till hopefully she can expand into the rest of the world. Well,
I want the blue chair.
Do you?
Yes.
Well, I won't fight you for it. I'll take the lovely dusty pink, okay?